Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. And it seems that there's some great, interesting news happening in Georgia. Now, I understand that Georgia is, Atlanta, Georgia in particular, is having a massive amount of riots from with Antifa and all this other stuff. So, yeah, there's kind of reasons why this is going on. Well, their governor is declaring something that will kind of show exactly what's going on, and we're going to get directly into it. Says Georgia governor declares 15-day state of emergency. Deploys National Guard in anticipation of Tyre Nichols and Cop City riots. Governor Kemp's order asks for 1,000 Georgia National Guard troops to be on standby from the Georgia Department of Defense. On January 18th, 26-year-old Manuel Turan, a protester opposing the construction of a new Atlanta Police Department training facility, was fatally shot by police after firing upon officers. It's at about 9 o'clock a.m. today, as law enforcement was moving through the property, officers located a man inside a tent in the woods. Officers gave verbal commands to the man, who did not comply and shot a Georgia State trooper. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said in a statement, other law enforcement officers returned fire, hitting the man. The $90 million training facility known as Cop City was set on 381 acres in the Wayland Forest. It has been being protested for over a year by anti-law enforcement militants and environmental activists calling themselves forest defenders. Many have been camping on the grounds and in makeshift tree houses in an attempt to stop the construction. On Saturday evening, hundreds of protesters marched through the streets of Atlanta in protest. A police car was set on fire. Several businesses were vandalized and had their windows smashed, and ultimately 6 people were arrested. We're going to look at the actual car being set on fire, folks, because I think this is kind of a key point here. Not really key, but kind of showing what the damage that they're doing. And this is what's been going on with Atlanta for quite a while. In fact, it's quite interesting that that we are having this happening. A local station, WZTV, reports that the state of emergency was issued moments after police in Memphis announced felony charges against 5 police officers accused of killing a man during a traffic stop on January 10th. Tyre Nichols died 3 days after authorities said he ran after being pulled over on suspicious driving. The Atlanta Police Department issued a statement on Thursday saying they will support peaceful protests in our city. We're closely monitoring the events in Memphis and are prepared to support peaceful protests in our city. The statement said, we understand and share in the outrage surrounding the death of Tyre Nichols. Police officers are expected to conduct themselves in a compassionate, competent, and constitutional manner, and these officers failed Tyre, their communities, and their profession. We ask that demonstrations be safe and peaceful. Before the last week's protests, 7 activists involved in the protest had already been charged with domestic terrorism. In a press release about the arrest, the GBI alleged that protesters have been involved in a series of serious criminal activities, including carjacking, various crimes against persons, destruction of property, arson, and attacks against public safety officials. Law enforcement continues to address the criminal acts committed by the individuals that continue to occupy the area of the proposed training site. So yeah, there we have it. So, guys, this is what I'm talking about. This needed to be kicked in the bud a long time ago. We knew that these people were violent, we knew these people were dangerous, and we knew that these people were not safe to be having around in our country. Now, even I would say that even Trump did not do much to stop Antifa, especially for that full year when he was in office, which was disgusting in that fact. I did know he tried to say that the National Guard or some places may need to be addressed or brought in some of these places that Antifa was going on, but we had a year of protests and there was nothing done against these people, and now they have established this very more violent area, and these are no longer what we would call protesters but rioters, and they're causing massive damage. They smashed the buildings of Atlanta. They've injured people, put a cop in the ICU. Like, these people are very, very violent. They're not good people. And as I said before in the previous video, these are all most likely young, rich people that have no parental guidance or been raised in a very, I would say, in a very left wing type of ideology, and this is where they get their views from. This is what we call dangerous. This is what we call danger in general, and this needs to technically stop. And it's good that the Georgia governor is at least trying to do some type of a 15 state emergency because of in deploying the National Guard, because I think that they do need it. I think there will be more terrorists going on, and or what we call rioters. Another thing as well is that what will happen within that 15-day period of what will these Antifa members do, we don't know. If they start coming down and say, for instance, in this aspect where they come down and they start doing more of these major riots and stuff like that, then guess what ends up happening? The National Guard is there, and there may be an actual literal bloodbath or some actual serious other issues, because I don't think the National Guard is going to take it lightly where they're going to destroy businesses or attacking people. Our country is in a massive disarray, and we need to stop this. And the reason why I'm doing this channel, and the reason why I am letting people know, is because people need to know, especially the Democratic people that don't want to see this happening. There are also people on the Democratic side that will say, "Oh well, far left, more they're just not rational thinkers. They consume whatever media that they have. They won't look at reports or any other article that does not that will not go into their actual political view, and then they'll act like they are smarter than you or not believe what you point out, and they'll completely disregard stuff. This is the tactical view of the far left. They don't really care as long as they get there, they prove it right, or rather that they seem to don't care as long as they have pushed their ideology out. And this is something we need to stop. I think we the people need to fight back more and more in terms of this stuff. I understand it's hard that you cannot that it's harder to cancel some things or whatever, but by all means, go ahead and just do it, because if you don't, then you're actively destroying the country in some way, form, or another. Mostly because if you give these people money, you're giving them money to keep on pushing their agendas, their stuff like that, and then you won't see change. And companies will react to money loss, like what happened to the M&Ms. And until we can actually do something about this, then it will be all for naught. And I hope that Georgia and the residents there are safe and no violent acts actually do happen. Please be with that in mind. I do not want no violent acts to happen, but it's not looking good in this country, and we still have a whole year left with this people. So hopefully we can find some type of peace or reparation for the next year or so, give or take 2 years, that no much craziness will happen, but only time will tell. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.